Hey, wonderful class. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of information about how to access the book and how the book works. So when you first start the class, there are two options in order to get into the book. So you go to the website that's posted on the syllabus and also the first notification. It's grlcontent.com. And when you click that, you'll end up at this screen right here. You can enter an access code, which means you went to the bookstore and purchased a little card, and that card has a scratch off area which you scratch off and it reveals a code underneath. You enter that code there and you hit next and follow the prompts. The other option is to hit purchase right here, in which case you don't have to pay the upcharge that the bookstore charges you for the access code, and it's a little bit cheaper to do this way right here. So I suggest you, if you can, you utilize the purchase feature. The money goes to pay for the technical support of the book and also to employ people that help us put it together. So we tried our best to keep the costs very, very low. And so I just wanted to address that right now in case that's something you're concerned about. Once you have finished this and you've entered your ABC 123 number, which is not ABC 123, make sure you know it. Look on your ID card, look on your emails from the university, etc. Make sure you know your ABC 123 number. Then you're ready to sign in. So you'll have already been prompted with the access code of the purchase to create a user ID and also a password. So once you enter those, you're going to hit sign in. You may end up here not intentionally, so I want to show it to you. This is my starting screen, and you just hit the play button and it will take you to the book. You'll never see that screen. It will always start right here. Okay, so here we are in the book. There are 6 chapters of the book. The first exam will be over chapters 1 and 2. The next exam will be over chapter 3. The next one will be over 4. The next one will be over 5. And the next one will be over 6. So there are a total of 5 exams, and the first one is going to be over chapters 1 and 2. All right, so let's go ahead and get into using the book. Actually, maybe beforehand, I'm going to show you right here. You can access this at any given time. It's the periodic table, and I suggest you do. So this little triangle here, it's ozone or something, you go ahead and click on it, and this brings up a periodic table. I want you to try to get used to pulling this up regularly. Make sure your pop-up blockers are off if it doesn't pop up. And this will help you kind of get used to the periodic table, and you're going to need to use it quite often, especially in chapters 3 and on. So for example, I click on carbon here and it magnifies it here, gives us a little bit of information, tells us even the atomic number, etc., and tells you a lot about even its elemental state. So let's see, let's go over here. I'm going to go back to the chapter here. I'm going to click on chapter 3, which is kind of where we start putting things together from chapter 1 and 2. And it takes a little bit to load because there's lots of information in there and games, and the whole chapter loads all at once. So once we're here, you can click on any one of these subtitles and it'll take you directly to that subtitle. So let's say you left off on molar mass, you can go back to molar mass, it'll take you there without having to scroll through for it. The first little bit of this chapter is history, and we tried to make some things look pretty and give you lots of valuable information. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of how this works. So we'll present you with some information, a lot about the why, then we'll present you a little bit about the how, and then we'll present a quick check where you can actually check to see if you understand the concept. So here, for example, I'm going to enter an answer. I'll hit save and check. It's going to tell me I got it wrong, and then I can hit view correct answer and it will tell me the correct answer. Now keep in mind these are cap sensitive, so for example, if you enter PB here, the answer was uppercase P, lowercase p. If I'd entered uppercase P, uppercase B, it would not have accepted the answer. Quick checks are not for points. I'm going to scroll down and look for another one. Quick checks are not for points. They are solely there to help you test yourself, which is the most important part about studying, is really asking yourself if you understand what you learned and you understand why you learned it. So here we have example problems. We will almost always present you for more detailed information the example problems first. We'll give you 2. And then we give you a quick check, so to see if you understood the example problem you just did. If you enter the answer here, whoops, there we go, maybe. and you hit save and check, and you view the correct answer, you might think, oh man, I don't know how they got that answer. Well, then you go and click on the explanation and it'll walk you through the mathematics of how we got that answer. Now that can be helpful a lot of times just to give you an idea of maybe how we got an answer, but sometimes even that's not enough. So I'm going to scroll down here. We have a lot more of them in the later chapters. Maybe I should have gone to a later chapter, but there we go. So for example, in this quick check right here, this tends to be a common problem that people have issues with because it's one of the more complex ones. The problems get more complex as you go through the chapter. So here we get an answer, and you might wonder, man, how did I get that answer? I don't understand why that answer is the way it is. Well, this is a video right here. So when you click on it, it will actually walk you through how to solve that problem and a little bit of the why as well. All right, so that's a lot of stuff about the quick checks and how to use the book. Let's see, there's one more thing up here I want to go through before we talk about the homework and all the nitty-gritty stuff. All right, so here we have something called conventional dimensional. You're going to learn a lot about dimensional analysis, and dimensional analysis is essentially the canceling of units. I won't give you a full lecture here, but in order to make this problem work, you have to try to understand dimensional analysis. You need grams and grams to be here if grams are up here. You need moles to be down here if moles are up here. And then you just hit proceed, and it's going to show you how units cancel. And then you hit proceed one more time, and it'll actually walk you through the math. And so I think these are really helpful if you're having trouble with dimensional analysis, which some people do at the beginning. This will give you an idea of what's going on. All right, so now as we make our way all the way through, I'm going to go really quickly to the bottom. At the very bottom are chapter 3 terms. So these are the terms. There's hoverovers built into the text. So if you don't know what something is, you just hover your mouse over it and it will give you a definition. But these are also flashcards that we provide. So if you want to know, for example, what outer shell is, you flip the card and see what it is, and then you can move on to the next one. You can shuffle them and you can put them face up or face down. It's kind of fun if you want some extra help with vocabulary. Your end of 3 chapter 3 end of chapter questions. So all of your end of chapter questions will be at the end of the chapter. You're going to have a prompt here that says begin your attempt. So you're going to begin your attempt. You have 2 attempts on each of the homeworks. All the homeworks are between 15 and 25 questions. They're all multiple choice, but they do rotate around. So here you're going to have 2 attempts at this particular set of homework. And in fact, you'll have 2 attempts for all of them. And let's say you click an answer, you hit save answer, and then you can move on to the next question. You can skip a question or you can finish and submit for a grade. If you go to submit and they haven't all been saved, it will say, you haven't saved them all. Are you sure? And you're going to make sure you want to hit cancel and make sure they're all saved. You can access your grades at any given time. I won't click on this because it says student data, but you'll click on gradebook and it will bring up your past attempts on homework. And so you should be able to access all that information there. In addition, there's resources. The only thing that we have in resources is this end of semester homework review. And what this is it's a compilation of many different homework questions throughout the semester, and they just kind of randomize. So it's a great way to test to see if you understood the material before you take the final exam, because the final exam is cumulative. This is not worth any points whatsoever, so it's just there for fun, kind of just like the quick checks. So I hope that gives you a good idea of what's going on in the book, how to use the book, and I am looking forward to having you all in class. As always, reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. Bye.